I'm your cult boyfriend. Today we are talking about a film from 1995 called Party Girl, directed by Daisy Von Schurler-Meyer, who is a great director, might I say, might I add. I'm sorry, I'm very excited to talk about this film. It's one of my favorites. I love Party Girl so much. I think it is a defining film of the 90s. Hell, it even it has a special place in film history for being the first film that ever premiered on the internet. Party Girl stars Parker Posey, as well as Guillermo Diaz and Liev Schreiber. It's a character study. It's a comedy. It's perfect, obviously, because I love it this much. It's about a party girl who becomes a librarian. In its simplest terms, that's what it is. And it's an art house film that I adore. It's American independent cinema at its finest and reminded me of like those 90s independent movies that really had character to them, a unique character to them. A true personality, a nonconformist personality. I love this film a lot. The composition is pretty damn incredible. There's a lot of interesting materials going on. I think the film is entirely stylish. I think that Mary's wardrobe, Parker Posey's wardrobe, is to die for. I think it's incredibly stylish. I think it's aesthetically brilliant. But in this video, I'd like to kind of talk about its philosophy, because not a lot of people do. It's an art house film. It has a philosophy. It's a pretty interesting one. Party girls. What is the party girl? The party girl is an archetype that we are all familiar with. The party girl is an archetype that's been around since the days of Hughes and probably even earlier than that. We all know a party girl, either in our real lives or on screen, in literature, even from music. Party girl archetype has been with us for a long time. And 1995's Party Girl film is kind of a celebration of that archetype as well as a slight deconstruction. There are postmodern qualities to this film. And like I said earlier, it's about a party girl, Mary, played by Parker Posey, who becomes a librarian. And film does go out of its way to kind of effortlessly juxtapose the differences between the renegade party world of Mary's nightlife and the uh, orderly atmosphere of the library, which is her day job, obviously. And there is a clash going on between those two different parts of Mary's life. There's a clash between what she does in the day and what she does at night, as well as an inner kind of existentialist Sisyphean struggle of what she's going to do with her life. She's a woman in her mid 20s that doesn't feel like she's living with any sort of purpose or has achieved anything noteworthy. The philosophy of Party Girl becomes beautiful when we realize what the Party Girl archetype actually truly is. Fashion is important. Clubs are important. Partying is very important. Party girls are kind of the librarians of culture. What Party Girl does is it marries the two. It blends the two together, and this is what I really feel what the film is saying. Because she's at the end, it says girl gets job, girl loses job, girl gets job again, and that's basically what happens in the film. Um, But the way that she gets the job back is she invites her godmother, who is her boss at the library, over to her house where her friends, her party friends, have thrown a surprise party for her, and a happy ending ensues. But I think that what the film is saying is far more important in a pretty postmodern way. I think that the party girl archetype is a librarian of culture. Party girls are the librarians of culture. I don't know about you, but I know certain girls I can call at any time, or I know of girls I can reach out to, and they kind of know everyone. They know all the cool places to go, and a lot of girls are great at organizing parties. The amount of work that goes into organizing a party, I was an event planner for a while, and some of the girls I worked with were unstoppable. The amount of work that it takes to organize a party is like the amount of work it takes for librarians to organize a building full of the world's knowledge. I think it's kind of beautifully confrontational because when Parker Posey is working at the library, she has to face a lot of discrimination in a sense for being a party girl, for not being seen as smart enough, for not being seen as valuable, for not being seen as serious, which I think completely like limits our conception of the party girl. Like for a second, let's just think about party girls. They are fearless. Let's think about Parker Posey as the ultimate party girl because this is Parker Posey at her best. I love Parker Posey to death. She's certainly, without hesitation, I can say that Parker Posey is a 90s dream girl of mine. She's one of my favorite performers, one of my favorite actors, and I think she's super sexy and very pretty. I think that her version of the party girl is the party girl archetype. I think it's never been done better than Parker Posey's Mary in Party Girl. I think that Party Girl is a masterpiece, and I think it's a masterpiece of celebrating an archetype that is more often than not maligned. So let's think about Parker Posey as the party girl, her party girl. She is driven, she is unique, she is a renegade. She is self-obsessed. She is narcissistic. She is beautiful and she is wanting and she is knowledgeable. She is an organizer. She's a hero. Parties are places where you go dressed to the nines with your heart on your sleeve, dancing the night away, drinking an exorbitant amount of alcohol and using a lot of different kind of mind-altering substances. Parties are pantheons, they're coliseums, they are where culture is codified, where culture is organized into a bit of public theater. That's what parties are. Culture as public theater that you can participate in. And the party girl, the one who goes to all of these different parties and events, the one who participates the most frequently and most obsessively within culture, they are the librarians. They know everything about that culture. You can tell by their fashion, and fashion is extremely important to party girl and to this kind of philosophy, this kind of renegade philosophy that I'm talking about. Fashion is an extremely important art, an extremely important mode of expression, not only in party girl like aesthetics, but in queer communities, in party communities. Parties are the new libraries. Parties, there's no difference between a party and a library, especially when you look at it as an organization of culture. Libraries are an organization of the knowledge of culture. And parties, that represents the immediacy of interacting with culture itself. You can go up to the party girl and ask her what kind of song to listen to, what kind of cocktail to drink, what clothes you should wear, what girl or what guy you should talk to, and she'd know exactly. Just like if you went up to a librarian and asked them where like a ask them where the existentialist philosophy section is. She would know exactly because she has a way of organizing it, the Dewey Decimal System of the party scene. Interestingly, the myth of Sisyphus is brought up pretty often, including the amazing quote that Albert Camus ended his piece with, that one must imagine Sisyphus happy. I've actually quoted it obnoxiously on this channel, like a pretentious dork. But Guillermo Diaz, his character gets to say, fuck that. If my name was Syphilis and I had to push a rock up a damn hill, I wouldn't be too happy. The fact that Party Girl is a film that is resourceful enough, like within its own composition, to rebuke the claims of Albert Camus, or if not entirely rebuke them, but absorb them and reshape them, reform them into something a bit more lively, a bit more colorful and unique and fun. I think that that speaks volumes about the power of the film. I think it's composed in a wonderful way. And I think the best way to experience the film or the best way to interact with Party Girl is to really view the library and the parties as yes, they are juxtaposed, they are compared and contrasted, but it's two sides of the same coin. And every time you see a party girl in real life, just remember that they're the librarians of culture. And they are often women. Women normally occupy these roles. Obviously, they're called party girls. And they are unstoppable. And they're smarter than you. They're at least a lot cooler than you are. Parker Posey was magnificent. in this film. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with her in this film. I'm obsessed with Parker Posey in Party Girl. Completely just hyper fixated on her. She's incredible. I'm in love with that character, and it's a bit of a spirit animal for me. I relate to that character a lot. I relate to Mary too much, to be honest. But I love it. I can see myself represented within the party girl archetype, and I can also see Parker Posey's party girl as something to be championed, celebrated, and revered. I revere Party Girl. It's such a great film. It's accessible art house that is still saying quite a lot, and I think it's saying quite a lot of purpose, quite a lot of things with intent. Like I think it's a necessary kind of film, especially in 1995, but even now, I think that its message is still extraordinarily pertinent. I think that the ways that we view party girls is kind of misogynist uh, in manifest. We view them as airheads, kind of wannabe socialites who are so vain and narcissistic that they don't really have any time for self-reflection. We view them in, I think, very misogynist terms. And I think that something like Party Girl reminds us that, or at least reveals to us, possibly, even that party girls are the librarians of culture. They are the organizers of this thing called party. These things called parties, the organization of culture in public theater, which you are freely allowed to participate in. Party girls, those are the most important girls on the planet, and I'm in love with them. I think that Parker Posey is a phenom. I think she is phenomenal. I think she is one of a kind, and I love her to death. This is definitely Parker Posey at her best, and that's actually saying a lot because she's always so good. She's always incredible, and this is her at her very best. And I like the postmodern components of the film quite a lot. There's a lot of deconstruction going on. There's a lot of reformatting of the status quo. There's a lot of reorganizing. Because the film does have a special focus on the concept of organization or the nuance, the difference between organizing and conforming, because Party Girl is never a conformist film. You might think that her wanting to be a librarian is turning her back on the party scene, but it absolutely isn't. It's not conformity, it's not normalcy. It's about her trying to get the rest of the world eventually to understand that there is no difference between a party and a library because both are organizations of cultural artifacts, cultural knowledge, be it through fashion, personality, or conversation, atmosphere, and aesthetics. There is no difference. The party girl is an archetype that should always be treated with a deep amount of integrity and decency, dignity, and love. I care about the party girl archetype so much, and the film Party Girl always reminds me how powerful it truly is. She is unstoppable, and I don't think we should ever forget that. And Party Girl always makes me want to get up and dance. There are so many amazing sequences where Parker Posey just goes for it, and it really does approach a place of pure pathos that it's an emotionally stirring film, and it's I might be using all of this intense language, but never forget that this film is a comedy first and foremost, and it's hilarious nonstop. It is so, so, so funny, but often through these comedic events, you're able to kind of engage with a really personal part of yourself through Parker Posey's portrayal of the character, of the archetype. And I'm incredibly fortunate. I think we're all fortunate to have this film exist. I always love revisiting it because I'm revisiting a part of myself that should never truly conform, but rather remember that I am valid. And so is my philosophy on parties and party girls. Parker Posey, oh God, how perfect she was in this film. It's truly a tour de force performance. A performance for the ages. Top 10, one of the top 10 best performances of the 90s. Not only is it iconic, but it's enduring and it's so charming. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. She does some wild stuff. I love her to death. I love her to death. And this film is, the composition is mwah, fucking perfect. I love the way this film is composed. I love the way it feels. The film has a very, very good and unique idea of itself. It has such a strong sense of character, and the attitude that the film takes on is is one that I want to be swallowed up whole by. I really like the mood of the picture. I think Party Girl is just so, 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 so good. I like films that champion archetypes, while simultaneously deconstructing them to reach a new sincerity. It truly is a postmodern masterpiece, and I think one of the crown jewels of 90s art house. Well, certainly one of the most impressive things that American independent cinema has ever crafted and accomplished. That's Party Girl. What a phenomenal film. Thank you so much for watching my video. I have been your cult boyfriend. I just want to fucking dance right now, dude. I just want to go out and do some mind-altering substances and go fucking crazy, okay? In the comments, what do you think of Party Girl? I love it. Do you love it? I really hope you do, or else you're a bitch.